Hi gang, Bastogne or bust. My Battle of the Bulge game for this December. We finished the 16th, the December 16th, the two turns that make up December 16th. The game's broken down into AM and PM turns. Um, the objectives in this game, I like them because they've got quite a few. You have, let's switch over here real quick before we start talking about the fight. You have this chart here, and you have these zones are the inner ones, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and H, and then you have areas X, Y, Z, and well, OKW is kind of a zone too, on the outside. Um, Part of your victory conditions are taking these zones. The Germans taking these zones. If they take any five of these zones, that's a victory at the end of a particular phase in any turn. Yeah, you don't have to wait till the end of the game. They have others where you take a quarter of the map. All right, the map is broken down into four quarters. Okay, like a football game, and you may have to, like, if you clear out a quarter minus the cities and forts, or minus the forts or whatever. I've read them like two or three times, but they're, like I say, there's like five or six different victory conditions you can meet. But like maybe you clear out a quarter and take three zones or something like that. It's a German victory. Or you clear out three quarters of the map, except for units that are left in built up areas. Just different things, but it's a pretty cool concept how you have these zones off the map you can take. Now, the interesting thing is that the Germans, when they take the zone, they can only fight, I believe it's with like 6 steps, which in most cases is 2 units, maybe 3, depending on what you've got in there. Steps of units. The allies that are in there, they defend, so they might have 20 steps of units in here. Well, 14 of those steps will be face down where they can't be used, and then 6 will be able to fight. However, the allies can attack in from an area or another zone with as many steps as they have, which is kind of odd, but I guess that's trying to counteract the force that the Allies had to put once the Germans broke through here. So good concept here. Haven't had to use any of the air chart or any of the stuff yet. Got the commandos, not von der Heitz guys, but other commandos that come on to disrupt enemy movement. And once those things get hit or overrun, or by an enemy unit, by an allied unit, they're eliminated from the game, and then there's a certain turn where they're completely eliminated anyhow. They're left on the map. So their usefulness is temporary. Thing is they're available right now, but you get to move them on. Put it this way: according to the way the rules read, you get to move them one time, starting from the edge of the map where the OKW zone is. You get to move them one time, and then so you got to, you need and there's no zones of controls. The Allies have no zones of controls that affect them. They just move right on around. Can't move through them. But I need some alleys. You need some alleys opened up to move those through, because they're going to get that 10 movement points, and you're going to move them on a road, and that's going to give them like 40 movement points as long as you keep them on a road. So that's how these guys. And like I say, all they do is the first Allied unit that runs into them stops, but it doesn't stop any other ones. So when I get to use those, I'm going to read those. They're very short. The rules are very short. I need to read those a little thoroughly. So let's see how our first day's activities went. So the Germans, they get +1 die roll modifiers. Love the combat table. It's got multiple results, but it's simple to use. All right. And on day one, on the 16 a.m. turn, when the Germans start their surprise attack here in the Ardennes, they get a +1 on everything. Plus, you get regimental integrity bonus, where you have a headquarters unit, i.e. like there, and he's got all 3 of his regiments attacking in the same attack. They're going to get a +1 for regimental integrity, as long as that headquarters is there. You have ranged artillery, which has a yellow circle in it. Germans can shoot, I think it's 3, and the Allies can shoot 4. The Allies now start getting defensive artillery die roll modifiers for any unit that's attacked that is within range of an artillery unit. All right, and it doesn't say that the artillery unit can only be used once. It just says within range. They couldn't do it on the 16th, but now they're starting the 17th. They're gonna start getting that advantage. All the bridges were initially clear as you're setting up the pieces, but then the Allies at the start of the game, I think it was 3 or 4, 3 blown bridge markers to start the game. And they place those obviously in front of Clairvaux here, where I guess where Marnock would be. They placed on the river here, and they placed on the river here. Then on the 16 p.m. turn, they got a couple more, and they placed those here. So as long as the Germans have not crossed the river, you could place the blown bridge markers there. And then, of course, once you get over here, they have a gap to work through. So, and then the Americans or the Allies also get these improved positions. I ain't sure yet why there's some are red and some are black. I didn't see that in the rule book, but maybe that was just a color misprint. All right. So you don't have to worry about step losses in this game. The chart will tell you you lose units, plain and simple. And you can see on the first two turns, the Americans really didn't do any attacking, but the stacks up here, there's the losses already accumulated. Okay, and I'm telling you, it sucks when the Germans got to take a step loss because you need those units. You really do. And I'm not even. I say I'm only one day into this game and I'm realizing I'm going to need them. So typical Ardennes defense from playing different games over the years. And that's getting the Allies, mostly the Americans, at the start of this thing, into key intersections of roads. Because off-road movement is not very effective in the Ardennes, but it's just put whatever you can where you can. I got units scattered all over the board. The odds of the Americans getting any kind of division integrity is slim to none because you got units moving to all kinds of different locations. Like I got a second infantry division guy moving here. All right, got to get in here to these. And you want to be in the broken terrain or inside the cities or city/forts, which that's a city/fort right there, because you get doubled. Your defense factors get doubled in those. In a city you get a double and a -1. City and a -1 die roll modifier. Okay. Behind rivers, you get a -1. If everybody's attacking across the river, in the woods, you get a -1 die roll modifier. So your only super defensive benefit is going to be in the broken terrain or inside your cities/forts. The Allies got a fort at the end of during the 16 December PM turn, and we dropped it in there. They get another one that's going to go back in Bastogne somewhere because that's a major, major intersection. I did read the designer's strategy note stuff on this, talking about just waylay, try to get over here to this zone over here on the right, because apparently it's easier to deal with, because I guess Patton comes in on the other side. But getting over here and taking this zone as fast as you can. I got to break out first, okay? And need to do it pretty quick. There's no overrun or exploitation in this game, so the Panzer divisions just in the 2 SS Corps, they just got cold stopped at these bridges. Now these bridges are blown. I got to get engineers up there because the mechanized stuff can't cross the rivers without a bridge. Infantry can. So the Germans are across here with infantry. They're across here with infantry. But this attack here got thrown back initially. This attack here, you can see that gap now. There were 2 stacks going in there. They got all thrown back. We haven't even attempted to attack this stack yet, but the Germans are across the river here. And it seems like the most success they've had over here on the 16th is they're very much so across the river over here, and they're pushing. So right now, major concentration of anything that came in is going in this area. But at the same time, I got to get stuff in here to the center, because somewhere along the line here, 2nd Panzer and Lear are going to break out, or 1st or 12th SS is going to break out. Okay, 1st SS looks like it has an opportunity right now. 12th SS is across, but now this armor can't get across that river yet. These guys don't have to worry about the armor, so probably the 12th SS should have followed here. I'm sure 1st SS, because they'll be going here in just a moment on 17 EM, will get after this unit here. Now, somewhere on the 20th, you start worrying about fuel concerns, and you start rolling for, I guess it's fuel attrition for the Germans, for the mechanized units. And that's probably going to change. So you figure the Germans have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 turns they need to just roll as fast as they can. You also have a rule in here for 15th Army to get activated up to the north under certain conditions, and that's 2 turns away. You don't see them on the map, but it helps apparently it helps this fight over here when if 15th Army should activate. All right, No major reinforcement for the Germans. They got a couple of Fallschirmjäger units coming on. Allies have about 4 units that are coming on on the 17th morning turn, but in the PM turn, the Allies get a nice little burst of units. So the Germans need to. You got to attack. 1-to-1's not completely bad in here. If you get any die roll modifiers, and you just need to make sure you roll a 4, at least a 4, and you're going to be covered. You'll be okay. A lot of defensive retreats, a lot of this engage thing that you see on these markers here doesn't really affect any kind of combat or anything. But these engage markers mean these units, while they have those markers on, they have no zone of control. So Allies can move right through them. Allies do have 1 unit pinned behind the German lines. There's no attrition. He just stays out of supply. His movement's cut to nothing. He's only got a movement of 3, so he's only going to move 1. Well, 2 if you round up. I don't know what he's going to be able to do. So, yeah, so that's it. Typical Bulge. Germans are going to jumping out, which these guys have not gotten out as fast as you would have hoped, or like they did back in December of 44, and taking the Americans and throwing them at any key choke point you can to slow the Germans up until the Americans start flooding this area with reinforcements. All right, December 16th, Bastogne or Bust from Terran Games. Let's get this up, get it ready, so y'all can see it on the 16th. Talk to you soon.